So here we are again. I need to repair the oven door on my Stove's 907 MF oven. As you might be able to see here, the hinges are not quite closing the door properly. You can see from the top here, it's much more flush here, but on this one there's a bit of a gap, so it's not quite closing properly. And in fact, if I open it more fully, you can see that it goes down past the level position. It should be up like that, but it's flopped down. So I'm going to need to replace these hinges here, these grubby hinges here, one there and one the other side. First things first though, I need to make sure that before I start any work, I look at safety and I turn off the power to the oven. So here we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this screw here, and what happens is you can just slide the door off when it's in this position. I'm going to do that without recording it because it's quite difficult to do with one hand. So I've removed the oven door now just by removing those two screws and lifting the door off while it was slightly apart. These are the hinges that I'm hoping to replace, and this is what they look like. And they need to slot in there. So I think what I need to do is take the oven out of its housing and figure out a way of unscrewing that and pulling it out. That's the next step. There are two screws, as I've just teased it out of its housing there, one here and one here, which if I take them out, this bracket will slide out, and what I'm hoping is that it'll be a simple operation just to slide them back in and refit the screws. Here we are, the screws have been removed, and it should be just a simple case as it is, just sliding out the old, there we go. New hinge has just been slotted back in and it's gone in nice and easy. Took no more than about a minute or so. Okay, so that's the oven back in its housing. There are 6 screws. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but there's one either side at the bottom, one in the middle, and I've got one at the top behind here, just there. Put those screws back in, and then it's just a case of offering the door up back onto those hinges. You can see they're slightly ajar, make it a bit easier to position the door back on, and put the 2 screws back in to secure it. So I've put the 2 screws in. Literally the door slid on in about 10 or 15 seconds, a little bit of a jiggling. Put the 2 screws back in, and already I noticed that if you look at it from the side angle, it no longer flops down. There's a slight angle on it sloping upwards, so I can see that's an improvement. And indeed, as I close the door, it shuts nice and firmly closed, and there's no gap, as I was seeing before here. So I'm hoping that that fixes some of the issues that we were having with the cooking. We noticed that the oven wasn't cooking evenly across things like pizzas and cakes and things like that. So I'm hoping that that seals the gap, and we get a nice proper fan assisted oven working.